Hey everyone, today we are looking at the Ilford Sprite 35 Mark II. This budget 35mm film camera was released this year by the film manufacturer Ilford. Now, I've been bringing it along with me everywhere I go for the past couple of weeks, and now I want to discuss it with you all. The main draw of this camera is it being a reusable 35mm camera for only $35. Now that seems like quite a steal. It's so incredibly cheap, so it was a no-brainer for me to pick up. But the question is, what can this camera deliver for just $35? The way I would think about this camera is by putting it in the same headspace as a disposable camera. Think of it as a reusable disposable, which doesn't really make sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. Everything about the design of this camera is basic. Everything is made of plastic, including the lens, which is a 31mm f9 lens. It has a built-in flash that runs off of one AAA battery. Past that, you have the viewfinder in the middle of the top of the camera. The film winder is right behind the shutter, and that's everything on the camera. Basic, right? I prefer the look of this basic body over any disposable I've ever seen, which are all historically disgustingly ugly in my opinion. The Sprite 2 comes in two colors, an all-black version, and a two-tone black and white version. Fitting, right? Because Ilford makes black and white film. Yeah? No? Okay, whatever. It's a nice, small, compact body that is great for keeping on you at all times, and the light plastic body I actually like for this camera because I know I can toss it around and not need to treat it well and it will be fine. Great for taking it up somewhere you think it might get roughed up, throwing it in a bag, etc. You don't have to think about it. The viewfinder in lots of old point-and-shoot style cameras can get really dirty, foggy, and they can be hard to clean. So this being a brand new camera gets to take advantage of having a really clear, crisp viewfinder. But, none of that matters. How are the images that it takes? That's the whole thing. And obviously the most important thing. And the images are really soft, like really soft. But remember, this is a cheap plastic lens on a cheap plastic camera. You can't compare this to your high-end rangefinders because they aren't the same thing at all. You have to compare this camera as a disposable because that's really what this camera is acting as. So looking again at the image quality, yeah, the images are pretty soft, especially when you don't have great light. You can certainly see how soft the corners and edges of the frame are, but when the camera gets enough light, I think they look just as good as any other cheap camera, like this. I took this guy on a recent trip to California and shot some frames. You can see a few more of these right now. It was great for any moment in time between shooting something else or just running to grab something. Anytime that I didn't want to have another camera out, it was great to just grab it, shoot it, and throw it in the back of the car. So maybe you're asking, well, what's the point of buying this camera over a disposable then? And there's two significant advantages I've found over traditional disposables. The first one is in the name disposable, and you save waste. Disposable cameras get thrown away after they're used, and that's fucking lame. I'll never buy a disposable camera again because I have this little guy with me, and that's awesome. The second is the control of what film stock you're using. Disposables come with a pre-selected film stock, and that's what you get. So if you want to switch it up between color and black and white between rolls, or you have a specific stock you like, you can do that, and that's lovely. The Ilford Sprite 2 is a great memories camera, if that makes sense. It's not really an art camera. I don't pick it up trying to make some great art. I grab it, or I give it to a friend, and they snap away just to hold on to whatever I was doing at the time. So if you like that sort of thing, or you've never shot a film camera before and you'd love to see what it's like, this is a fun, easy way to shoot some film. Pick one of these up and stop creating waste by buying disposable cameras. And despite the cheapness, I probably will keep bringing this camera with me, specifically during times where I'm scared that a different camera might get ruined or take some damage. And if this camera gets broken, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. I have other cameras. It's a nice kind of insurance policy as far as getting a photograph and not having to risk a nice piece of gear. In some scenarios where I'm moving around a lot, I like it a lot more than, say, an iPhone, because it takes me out of the phone experience. I don't get sucked into my phone. I just take the camera, wind it, I don't look at the photo, just move on, right? That's the great thing about like a 35mm point and shoot, is that you can't really get sucked up into the camera. If you want to just kind of dip your toe into shooting a little bit of film, or just want to have a fun memories camera, this is a great pickup. And that being said, I do have an extra Sprite 2 here that I'm going to be giving away. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and leave a comment on this video, and I'll pick someone to send this camera and these 2 rolls of film to so you can get shooting right away. I'll pick the winner on May 1st. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.